All right, guys, welcome back. We are watching Mushoku Tensei, Season 1, Episode 9. Last time, we got blown up, or or something. A bunch of insane stuff happened, frankly. The sky went crazy. We saw a bunch of characters that we know nothing about. And, giant blue beam of light from the sky obliterated everything. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, you know? Last episode we went into a lot of the like political stuff going on with like Philip and the Grey Rats and Rudius and all that stuff, you know. Um it feels like we got bigger problems now, you know? So I don't know. I'm curious when any of that is going to pan out, huh? There is a lot of construction going on outside, and it's very loud. I do not know if that is going to cause issues, if that's going to be picked up too much or not. I've kind of been waiting like all day to see if it will stop, and it has not. So that's why this upload is going to be kind of late. But oh well, I've got to do it anyway. I don't want to not record today just because of that. So hopefully, I don't know. It's pretty loud for me, but like it'll be fine. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. What do I think is gonna happen? I have literally no idea. I don't think for a second that like Rudius and Eris and Ghislaine are dead or anything. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So watch episode 9. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. Where are we? Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Hmm. Hello there. Still calling him Rudius. Are you are you God? I'm not sure what you look like. Sure, yeah. Oh, the man god. Hitogami. Right. Taken an interest in him, huh? I see. Oh, look at that face. Okay, I don't trust you at all. I don't know. Oh, I see. So I'm just not gonna acknowledge any of that. Oh, really? Hmm. Oh, right. It's not over, of course. Ah, it's the way he views himself. Hmm. God, the way he said that. Huh. More than a dream, for sure. And he doesn't know anything about that, huh? So, like, what? Oh, I wonder if he should have said that. I don't know. Six-sided world. Right. Yeah, this guy has no idea. Okay. The dragon god, huh? I wonder. I would also not trust this guy. It's like, right. Oh, really? Do I trust this guy at all? No. The demon continent? Hmm. Yeah. Transported. Oh. Yeah. So we've just been teleported there? With, like, everyone? Or is Ghislaine here? Hmm. Sure. Why not? Okay. Rely on that man. I don't trust this even a little bit. I don't trust this at all. Ooh. It's water, huh? Okay. Oh, that was so Oh, beautiful stars. We're back. There's Eris. Okay. Is Ghislaine here? I mean, I assume not, because if we're, like, in danger... Who set up this fire, though? Yeah. If Ghislaine was here, it feels like we'd be, like, fine, you know? Oh, so happy to not... Yeah. Got the staff, right? Oh, there's the man. Oh, oh no. Right. Right. One of the spared. Okay. Well, I'm sure it's fine, right? As I was saying, the whole story that we've been told about them. Oh god. I don't know. I don't know if I believe it really. It feels like a fairy tale, you know? You're supposed to trust them. I mean, I don't trust the man god though. So, ooh. Oh. Speaking, I assume, like, the demon language, right? Oh. Ooh, fell from the sky. What is that? Hmm. Oh, yeah. No Ghislaine, huh? Ooh. Sure. The scar on his face. He is indeed a very strange child. Huh. Rougeur Desperdia. I see. I see. God, not used to people, like, talking to him, I suppose. He just automatically assumes northeast of the Demon Continent. Okay. Assumes everyone would just be, like, terrified of him. Hmm. God, I don't know. What does the world look like? Mm-hmm. Oh, I wonder, like, how much of a disaster... Oh, okay. Oh, well, no kidding, huh? Wow. Oh. Huh. I see. Very driven by that? Hmm. Oh god. Oh no. She... Eris, we gotta... No, 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 no. Come on, it's fine. Oh god. Whoa! And she thinks it's like... Is God punishing her? It's normally that... It's that bad? So that's a normal reaction. I see. It's God. Yeah, huh? Man. Okay. Like, please calm down. No. There we go. Like the fear and the attitude fighting with each other. Right. It's God. I'm sure, right? I mean, he seems like a very, I don't know, seems like a good guy already, right? Yeah, she's over it already. There we go. True. Come on, you can have another friend, right? There we go. Right. Rudius has been left out. I see. Yeah, where does that whole story come from? God, I guess. I mean, oh, I'm worried about how all this is gonna go. And yourself, right? Ooh, beautiful landscape. But yeah, what a, like, arid looking place. Oh, that's, like, crazy. There's, like, cliffs. Oh, I mean, it's just what she's always wanted, you know? Like, oh man. So much more exciting than everything she had to deal with back at the manor. Ooh. This music. Oh god, we need water. Rudy is just, like, slouching more and more. Oh. So there is some, like, vegetation. Okay. It's not like everything here is dead. Oh, we can just make water. Duh. Easy enough. Ooh. Ah. It's whoa, okay. That is he is quite powerful, huh? Ooh. I see. Oh, right. Don't say that. God, they've really just become best friends, huh? True? Hmm. Interesting. It's also, yeah, true. Huh. That's an interesting attitude, though. That, like, desire to protect them so much. Ooh, like, made out of turtle shells? Almost, it looks. Hmm. Whoa. Blue hair, blue eyes. Yeah, so I guess they're speaking the demon god, right? I assume. Rowan. Rowan? Oh, I see. And that would be quite the coincidence if this is where, like, Roxy is from, wouldn't it? Telepathy. Ah. Niggard. Oh yeah, what is okay, okay. What was Roxy's last name again? It was something like that, wasn't it? Raucous. Oh, okay. Right, right. There we go. What does that what does that mean to you? Alive? Oh, I see. Huh. Yeah, what a coincidence, huh? Oh, that's so cool, actually. It, like, automatically eats the bugs, I see. How is Aerith so energetic? Oh god. They're all Roxy. It's yeah, we gotta chill out. 20 years ago. Oh, really? I wonder why. Okay, okay. 44. Whoa. Yes, she sure is. Assuming the mana thing didn't somehow reach her too, I guess. Oh, yeah. Like, why did she... What do you mean? Why did she leave, you know? And, hmm, interesting. It's probably good. Come on. Or not. Aw, she's so tired. Oh, he has one too, yeah. Hmm. Is stop. All the way there, huh? So driven. Protect them, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Oh. Because of, yeah, I mean, the bigotry is that strong, I suppose. Oh, I don't know about that. I see. I wonder if he's lost his own children or something. Yeah, that can't be the right approach, right? I see. It's a heavy thing to bear by yourself. I mean, probably not impossible. But yeah, I mean, if every child is being told, yeah. Hmm. Oh. Oh. God. Right. I see. Ooh. What is that? Oh god. Okay. Okay. I see. Right? Hmm. And the spears themselves somehow... like, sent you into a rage. But why? Why would he do that? Oh, that's horrible, right? Just leads you to distrusting yourself forever. Oh, oh, or even your children, I wonder. Oh, God. Oh, I see. Oh, that explains it. The leader. Okay. Wow. That's, yeah, quite a bit more of a history to that than we have been told. Oh, yeah, I mean, there's these clear parallels between him and Rugyard, right? Oh, yeah. God. Okay. Sure. I think that's good to do something for him in return, considering like his seemingly such a like sacrificial, protective way he wants to view this. You know. Oh, I see. 102. Oh, I wonder why she hasn't. That's so sad. It's I know. It's, yeah. What's what are you talking about? Oh, I see. I don't know if Rudy's is gonna get much use out of the sword, but ooh. Huh. Interesting. Oh, giving it to Eris? Right, right. Yeah, what are these exactly? Oh god, be careful. Yeah, cause you get it, right? Okay, sure. You don't have to view it as transactional, but okay. Huh. Man. Yeah. It feels like the next like era, the next arc, I guess, of the story has kind of begun, huh? Yep, man. It's just talk about a turning point, I suppose, right? I mean, yeah, it really is. It really is. I see. Okay. Hmm. Stuck on the demon continent. How long will the journey back take? I wonder. God, lots of stuff to think about, just like little things about like Roxy. That is I don't know, her leaving the village, not being in contact with her family at all. That's very sad. That's another thing that's kind of like a link between her and Rudius, you know? It's interesting because Rudius, well, I don't know. I don't want to assume too much, I guess, about Roxy and like her relationship with her parents, but if she hasn't contacted them at all, she's like cut off ties completely, then that's pretty similar to the way Rudius was with his family. But the way Rudius views himself and the way he views Roxy is the opposite. You know what I mean? Two ends of an extreme, you know? And I think it's interesting then that they share the same or very similar issue in that sense, you know? The value of a life and the first job. That's a long title. Okay, let's talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. Man, yeah, just I talk about a turning point, right? It's we really there's like the whole story has changed. I am I imagine we are set out now on quite a long journey through the demon continent for who knows how long. Cool episode though. The demon continent looks so cool, doesn't it? Like all these like cliffs and canyons and stuff. It's very cool looking, like yeah, like this, you know? Like imagine the kind of like river that had to like flow through here. Or it's like wind, I guess, you know. This seems like the kind of area where maybe it's a bunch of like wind erosion, I suppose. I think that's normally what creates like shapes like this more so than a river. I think with like the overhang type thing, you know? Because like you look up the Grand Canyon, right? It doesn't have like overhang type stuff like that, you know. Like looking at it, all the shapes in the Grand Canyon, like cliffs and stuff, you know, big things like this. They kind of like taper off rather than having an overhang type thing. So I think this is like wind eroded. You know, if I is there anything I can find like that? Yeah, like looking at images of like wind eroded like terrain, it looks more similar to this kind of thing. I think there's even a shot, yeah, like this specifically. Like looking at this, where's this from? I don't know. I just on Google Images, there's some images that very much look very extremely similar to this. It's actually like I swear to God, on Google Images, I just found this image exactly. So yeah, it's probably like wind, right? Which makes sense. It's a very like dry, arid place. Again, it makes me wonder, like I guess just the broader state of the world, like what it's like, you know. The apparently the place where the humans live is the central continent, right? Uh, and it seems very very lush and very um like not like this where the demon continent is in this very like not great place, right? The hero Laplace unified the demon race and won rights from the humans, right? This is the line I was looking for. um so the humans, they had to win their rights from the humans. So it seems like in the history of this world, humans have kind of been a bit of an oppressor in a sense, I suppose, right? I imagine that's probably why the continent that they're on seems like it's the most hospitable, I suppose, right? I don't know. I wonder what the rest of the world looks like, I suppose. Um we learn a lot about Roxy. We meet Rougerd here, who is a spared. There's some clear parallels between Rudius and the way he feels about himself, the way like people I guess viewed him in the previous, on Earth in his previous life, and the way that people view Rougerd now, I suppose, right? Very different situations, like Rudius in a sense, through his behavior, it's not like he earned the way that people viewed him exactly, because I think that's part of the problem that pushed him to feel like that in the first place, or at the very least kind of something in his own head too, in a way, right? It's like the whole idea of like expectations, right? Like I think Rudius reacted very negatively as time went on to the expectations people would have of him, and that just led to him being in his room even longer. So in a sense, yeah, with Rudyard, it just seems like it's completely unfounded, at least with the way he says it, right? He does seem, he said that in order to protect Eris and Rudius, he would kill everyone if he has to. So and that's kind of scary, I do wonder. I guess the truth of the spared stuff, it's not really untrue that they did kill a bunch of their allies and stuff. They were just manipulated by Laplace somehow with the spears, like some kind of curse on them or something like that, right? Which is yeah, which is interesting. I guess it's just the general way that feeling of like regret and all of that, and the feeling of having to fight against that negative view that everyone is going to have of you that Rudyard has to deal with. That's how Rudius felt in his previous life, right? I still think now he still feels like that in a sense. It's not like that feeling is very easily discarded. Um, yeah, it is interesting. At the start of the episode, though, we have a little chat here with the man god. um, who is he's a god, apparently a god, right? He also mentions the dragon god, which I do wonder if that's the crazy dragon guy we saw in the last episode, right? I was talking about how the way he was talking felt like it belied some sense of almost like maybe not omniscience, just understanding of like the entire world in some weird way. That to me feels like very fitting of someone who is a god, I suppose, right? If he is. And obviously, I mean, he had the weird dragon scales on his like, you know, cheek area. His eyes were like a dragon. The dragon attacked him and did nothing. Yeah, seems like he's probably the dragon god. The man god here, who I do not trust even a little bit, said that the dragon god is one who is what much better at resurrecting people into this world. Do I put any stock into that at all? No. I guess I trust the man god, and I believe him that he doesn't know anything that's going on with Rudius, though. Just the question is like, what's happening here, right? To just talk about it from like uh, just like plot perspective. Why is he bothering with Rudius? You know, he says all the stuff that he's like funny, so he watches him. But like, what is up? You know, why? That really concerns me. You know, some kind of prophecy? Is there some kind of, you know, like Rudius kind of lets it slip that he's from another world, which I wonder if he shouldn't have said that to this man god guy. I don't know. It's really got me thinking that you know, Rudius views all of this as, you know, it's his second opportunity at life and everything and all of this, which is a good way to view it. I just think there's, you know, we've kind of discarded that idea as the episodes have gone on, that anyway Rudius is like special or the chosen one or something, right? He doesn't really think of the world in those terms, like his isekai experience like that anymore, it feels. He kind of, you know, like when Sylphie was able to do incantationless magic as well, that kind of blew the wind out of his sails, you know. Um, but I don't know. This scene is just really making me think. There's something going on here, right? Now, this whole scene is very interesting because Rudius is back in this form, right? He's back in the form that he was in his old life in Japan, you know? The man god says it's because of the difference between his mental and physical state, right? That this is still how Rudius views himself, right? Which makes a lot of sense, right? Like, for sure. I think, especially, like, yeah, it makes complete sense. He has not at all discarded that idea. He does not view himself as Rudius. You know, he views himself as his old self from his previous life, like in Rudius's body. You know, he doesn't have like that separation between his old life and his new life, really, you know. Like when we hear the voice in his head, you know, it's still this voice from him from his old life, right? And I think everything that comes alongside that, you know, the very negative way, you know, he's so negative about his body. He says like this shitty body, I don't want to be back in it, and all of this, right? He really, you know, this the self hatred and the all of that that comes alongside this. I think it shows the fact that he's still in this body, that that's how he mentally views himself, that he has not at all discarded all of that, of course, alongside, you know, his new life and being Rudius, right? I think the thing from a couple episodes ago with the whole ring with Eris and all of that, him, rather than viewing his actions as some kind of like improvement or you know, being able to even believe that he wouldn't do that to her, you know, that his behavior would change because of the way he views her now. He himself wanted to view it as, oh, the ring must actually work, you know. It's like he shut down himself from even letting himself think that he actually did like improve in that sense, you know what I mean? It's an interesting thing. Like, does Rudius think he can improve? Does Rudius really actually think he can change? Some of the things he says in this conversation with the man god doesn't even feel like that. You know, he says like, "Oh, I'm way too past, you know, a conversation being able to help me or whatever." Right? Let's actually go through the lines here. He starts thinking it's all over, right? Which like makes sense, I guess. He thinks he's in like heaven or something. You know, the afterlife, I suppose. What is the man god? What what is he? He's this weird, like, hard to look at form, right? He's like very wavy and strange and all of this, like Rudius himself says it's hard to like see what you are, I suppose. It makes me think that the man god is in some way representative of something. I don't want to say it's exactly some part of Rudius's like psyche. But it feels like it's something like that. It's something, I suppose. He just feels like that kind of character, right? That Rudius is having this weird dream talking to him. Like you know what I mean, right? I'm just really not sure. The man god, a god of humans, I suppose, right? What does that what does that like mean? It's, like in what way exactly does he embody the concept of humanity itself? What does that mean to like Rudius? Like, oh, I don't know. There's so many ways, so many places we could go with all of that, I guess. I'm not sure. I am not sure. The man god. Right, right. And yeah, all he says is he's been watching him because he's interesting. And that's it. That's all he says. He offers him help. He's acting blatantly incredibly suspicious, right? He immediately wants to get Rudius to trust him and to be on his side and all of this. Rudius, of course, he's not falling for it immediately. You let me dream I got reborn in another world and it's really game over. No, not at all. I've met people like you in my old life, people who came peddling false hope. I'm past the point where an attitude change could help me. Positive thinking just makes the despair come back worse than ever. I think all of those lines make so much sense, right? Like, oh man, it feels like when he's in this like place too, in his old body, it feels like those negative thoughts and feelings all come rushing back. Like this doesn't feel like the kind of thing Rudius now would say or think, right? But I guess in some way, deep within his mind, that is how he feels about himself in a sense, right? It just makes you wonder, like, does he really believe himself capable of change in that way? I mean, that's a hard thing to, like, admit to yourself or, like, really actually believe about yourself, isn't it? It just makes you wonder, like, how does he feel about all of his actions up to this point? You've gotta remember this is right on the tail of the stuff that happened near the end of the last episode where he did make, from his own admission, a lot of mistakes with the Eris stuff, right? So, him having a very negative attitude about himself right now, maybe that makes sense. I mean, it really does, I think. It's like if this is the way he really feels about himself and his true mentality about change and everything right now, it's very interesting because it just shows, I guess, that when we've been in his head these past few episodes and stuff, it feels like he's never this negative. I guess he just like kind of stamps it all down in a sense. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. I certainly understand Rudy's feeling like that though. Like I don't think it's so easy to discard this kind of way of viewing yourself. Like, and it's something that he's dealt with for such a long time. And like what he says about how people peddling false hope towards him. I can just imagine like his family trying to talk to him, anyone trying to tell him it's possible for things to get better, anything like that, right? And what do you think would stop him? What do you think would be the obstacle that would prevent him from actually improving his life in his previous life? It's just hard, right? Like what you have to do, what Rudius would have had to have done in his previous life to improve his situation would have been so difficult, just like to step out of his room and start living his life and doing anything. Like we saw that. We saw how much of a struggle in the first episodes he had with leaving the house now with like all the Roxy stuff. It's like he would have had to go through all that, but feel like he was alone, and with all these people he pushed away from him for his whole life and all of this. Like yeah, it would be so hard to even make that first step towards any kind of change. So I understand him saying it's all false hope. I certainly think if anyone who is like Rudius, I don't think they need a magical isekai situation to improve themselves and change as a person. Like, not at all, right? I think that is very possible. It is very possible to make those incredibly difficult steps that you have to make to improve your life. But yeah, it's just got to be really hard, right? Like I've been in some rough spots in my life, but just nothing nothing like this, nothing like what Rudius went through. So it's hard to even say, like hard to imagine how it would feel, I guess. But yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it for sure. I understand his thought process, I suppose. So yeah, it's his mental form, right? He won't be stuck back in this shitty body, as he puts it. The way the man god says yes here is such a crazy. It's like such a man. He really put some oomph into it. A dream, I suppose. A little bit more than a dream. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. I can't send you anywhere outside the six-sided worlds, like a cube. Like the world itself is a cube. I guess. That is an interesting thing to say. For one, that means though that the man god can he send us places? Could the man god snap his fingers and send us back to the central continent if he wanted to? I don't know. I don't know. It was not the man god who did it. The wicked dragon god's better, that sort of thing. The wicked dragon god, right? So the man god is very much placing himself in opposition to the dragon god, who I'm assuming is that dude from the last episode again, right? Interesting, interesting. So there's like what struggles between these different gods? That's God. That's scary. I wonder. So if that was the dragon god, assuming it is, right? He was heading towards. He was already heading that way towards like where all the mana was gathering and stuff, right? Because he said, "Oh, well, find out when I get there or whatever," So it seemed like he was going in that direction already. No way he was going towards Rudius, right? That's kind of a scary idea, right? That he was heading that way, and he saw the mana. He's like, "Oh, we'll find out when I get there. I'm going that way anyway." That's where Rudius is. I don't know if he is the one somehow responsible for Rudius's reincarnation. I don't know. I wonder. I don't trust the man god though, so I don't want to say that that's it, right? I don't know. I don't know. So he gives us some advice. Tells Rudius that he'll die on the demon continent all alone. Hmm. Right, right. Got caught in a massive mana cataclysm and transported. This is a very scary thing. What happened to Ghislaine? Where is she? Right? Like, did we all get transported to the demon continent, and like we're just completely separated? I mean, apparently Rudius and Eris fell from the sky, right? So what? Rugierd just like caught them, I guess. I Yeah, scary, scary thing. How big of a thing was it too? Like we saw that Paul and Rudius's family and everyone were pretty close to it. It really is not that far between their house, their village, and the manor and the area that Rudius and Eris and everyone were at. So kind of scares me. It seemed like a really big thing. Yeah, I mean a massive mana cataclysm. Would the man god have anything to do with that? Would he? It's like, does he know anything? Like, he knows what it is, right? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, his advice is listen well. When you wake up, there will be a man nearby. Rely on that man and help him. I see. Interesting. That's all he says, which on the face of it seems like good advice, doesn't it? I mean, Rugierd seems like a very great guy so far, right? I think this connection between him and Rudius could end up being very meaningful. And they certainly do need his help to not die, I think, right? They would, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. So interesting. Interesting thing to think about, I suppose. Like, what does the man god want? What is he doing? And then when we transition here, it's like water. It's like rushing water, which like I don't know what to think about that exactly. I just think that's interesting, I guess, that whole like plane that we were on is water apparently, or like liquid, I guess. It's something. It's something. Beautiful sky, huh? Out here, no artificial lights, right? I guess there aren't really, there's not like large scale artificial lighting like anywhere in the world as far as we know, right? Not to the scale that we have now. So very beautiful sky. I wonder if like the stars and the constellations, I wonder like where is Rudius? So, like I always wonder about this, like this kind of story. Like what is the sky the same as it was on Earth? Are we somewhere in the universe still? Are we in a different universe entirely? Like what? I don't know. Like this kind of looks like the Milky Way, doesn't it? So I don't know. I don't know. But I guess really, if it's a dark night enough to see like this kind of thing, any kind of planet that you're on, I suppose, is probably going to be in a galaxy in a solar system. So you'd be able to see like, the Milky Way is just like the arm of the galaxy, right? So like you'd probably be able to see that from like any planet, really. It doesn't have to be the Milky Way, I guess. So he wakes up. Eris is asleep. We got a fire. Rouge had been taking good care of us. How did Eris just fall asleep? So like, what is like, God? Was I mean, I guess Rudius says like, oh, was she pretending so the spirit wouldn't get hurt? But like, not right now. She's asleep. And here he is, Rugerd. We finally meet one of the spared, right? And what a tragic story it is, huh? Someone very much faced with the whole history behind them and everything. It seems very unfair. Like, of course, right? It's interesting because Roxy's village that we go to in this episode seems like they have like a decent relationship with Rugerd and everything. So it's interesting that Roxy has such a horrible like view of them and is sharing that story, is telling Rudius they would eat his family or whatever. I don't know. I guess I assume this whole relationship with him must have been established after Roxy left, but I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, Rudius is scared at first, but he kind of, he heeds the man god's advice, I suppose. Holds on to the Roxy talisman. Right, right. And says good morning. We get this. I was looking at this during the episode, trying to decipher any kind of meaning from it. But like, I don't know. It's like a weird cave painting type thing. Like, I don't know. What? Like giants. Like these are normal people, right? These giant crazy figures. I don't know. What could that mean, huh? Cerudius exhibits a much different attitude than Rugerd expects, I suppose. Is this like a wand or something, like a weird wand that he used to set the fire? Because it's like a weird hand. We like zoom in on it in a moment. You two fell from the sky. Human children are frail. I made a fire to warm you. Yeah, such a he's very protective. He very much wants to. It makes a lot of sense. He apparently killed his own son, which is like unimaginably horrible, right? It's this really sad thing how he's facing this horrible like bigotry and discrimination against him. That's like on this crazy global scale, right? And the things he feels like he has to do to try and prove all of that wrong. It's so like unfair, that he has to face that, and that's how it is. It's I guess, right? And he has just this very strong drive to protect, Eris and Rudius because they are children. He has a whole thing, some trauma about that, right? Alongside like using that to try and improve the spirit's reputation. He views that as like his like cross to bear, I suppose, right? He views it as like his responsibility to try and do that. Um, which yeah, it's a very sad situation to be in, I suppose. Like, I guess I don't want to say that he shouldn't feel like that. I guess I get it. Like, what else would he do? Just give up and say, "Oh, it's impossible"? Like, no, I don't think. Obviously, like the parallel between him and Rudius, like I don't think Rudius should do that. Should do that either, no matter how difficult the situation you're in is. It's just so unfair. So. And I guess again for both of them, for both Rudius and Rugerd here, it's like the way other people perceive you is kind of like the main thing that makes it so difficult, I suppose, right? For Ruger, that is like the stated problem, is just the way that people view him. For Rudius, so much of it was tied up in his own behavior, but I think secretly a large obstacle to his progress is the way people would view him, and that just making him retreat further and further and stay in his room and all of that. Just like what he said to the man god, right? People peddling false hope and all of that, and him viewing that in such a negative way. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I'm interested to see, I guess, where this is gonna go. Because it's such a clear like parallel between him and Rudius in a sense. No Ghislaine to be seen. No Ghislaine at all, unfortunately. Doesn't the sight of me frighten you? He automatically assumes that, right? The same way, yet again, that Rudius viewed himself in his old body in such a horrible negative sense, still does view himself in such a negative way if that's like his mental his mental view of himself, I suppose. He doesn't think of himself as really being Rudius, as having changed really yet, right? So Rujo's like sad, like inability to even accept the idea that Rudius isn't scared of him. I think Rudius feels that same way. I think fundamentally, probably with the way Rudius interacts with everyone, he still feels that in the back of his mind somewhere, that like they expect less of him. They view him in some kind of sad way like that. You saved us. It would be rude to be afraid of you. Hmm. Like that is an interesting response too. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to put into words why I think this is interesting, I guess. But it's just rather than just saying no, saying no, I'm not afraid. He says it would be rude to be afraid of you, right? I guess it's like the idea that Rudy himself like understands how it would feel, I suppose, right? Like or at least feels like he kind of does in a sense. Hmm. I guess. I do think the connection between the spared situation with Rugier and Rudius, that's not that simple, obviously. Is it just being like a one-to-one, like direct parallel? But you know, yeah, yeah. Anyway, Eris wakes up in just a moment, and we have quite the reaction. We are in Biagoya in the northeast of the Demon Continent. There's a lot of speaking the demon language in this episode that's very cool. I don't know if it's like a real language that they're just using, or if it's like a one that's completely made up for the show. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound like any language I'm at all familiar with. So, how long will it take to get back to the central continent from here? It's a good question. I really do wonder. Hmm. It's interesting, actually, that Rudius knows this. That Rudius knows from the man god that he was caught up in a big mana cataclysm. I assume, of course, Rudius isn't going to want to tell anyone about the man god stuff because, well, it feels so intimately linked to like his old self and the whole isekai situation and all of that that of course he doesn't want to tell anyone about that because that's like so tied to his like new chance and him like his new life and all of that. So I just wonder if anyone's going to question why he knows that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, immediately Ridger's like, I'll escort you back. So, oh, this is a very sad moment when he like, yeah, probably been a long time since he's been able to like protect someone like this, I suppose. Hmm. Anyway, Eris wakes up and literally has just a complete breakdown. Like, God. She thinks it's like, oh, the punishment of the heavens coming down on her. She's apologizing for all of her sins. And it's like, oh my God, girl. That's the normal reaction, apparently. Like, what are we talking about? It's like, man. Ugh. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way indeed. This is like so funny. She's so like terrified and stuttering over her words, over her introduction. But that's like fighting with her like, her attitude that she always has. God. Right. But her and Ruchid get along like right well, right? Yeah. They get along immediately. Rudius is kind of the one left behind. Eris can have another friend, right? Like it's such a big thing. Rudy should be excited to be friends too. Frankly, you both need friends. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Who the heck spread the rumor that the Spirit have short tempers? I mean, good question, right? It feels like it's all so the stuff with Laplace happened with the weird like spear thing that drove them to madness. And then since then, in the hundreds of years afterwards, there's been like this horrible propaganda about them spread to make them out to be these evil monsters. Why? Like, who benefits from that? I don't know. It feels like something that's been intentionally like set up in that way because like Laplace's like betrayal of them. It feels like it's part of that. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Gotta make sure Eris gets home. Very interesting. He's thinking of it in this, he has this duty to make sure she gets home to protect her, right? I don't know. It's interesting that he's thinking of it in that way, I suppose. Not thinking about himself getting home, not thinking about anything but, yeah, I've got to make sure Eris gets home. Interesting. Like, 'cause it's not his fault in any way that this has happened or anything like that. So I just wonder why his mind jumps to this immediately. This very yeah, this, like, sense of duty towards that. Anyway, cool montage of the demon continent. Eris is so happy. She gets her adventure. And I'm telling you, she must enjoy this so much, right? Like this is what she's wanted, rather than like the whole noble life in the mansion and all of that. Like, come on. Like all of Ghislaine's stories about adventuring and everything. You know, she's getting to do it now. Like there we go. So like look at these cliffs in the background. Like what the hell is this? This is ridiculous. It looks very cool. I mean, yeah. God, it is raining so hard outside. We can just make water, right? So we don't have to worry about dying, at least, thank God. How does mana work? How does Rhodesi's mana work? Does he have to, like, eat or something to get it back? What does he get it from? I feel like there's no way it can just be, like, an infinite thing. Like, you have your mana capacity, but, like, how does it regenerate? Does it just regenerate with time? Do you have to eat? Do you have to, you know, because what if you could somehow have magic that just made food, right? Can you do that? I don't know. Would you just never have to eat again? You know, you can just use mana to make food, and then you're fine. I don't know. I don't know. Richard kills this giant crazy turtle thing with one single strike to the head. It appears. Richard's attitude towards them is interesting. He's very extremely protective, right? He thinks that there's no way that they can help him fight or anything at all. You know, this extremely like devoted, protective attitude towards them, which I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure what to think about it yet exactly, right? It feels like in a way it's like him really trying to compensate for that way he assumes everyone views him in like such a negative light, you know. And he's like overcompensating for that almost, you know. I feel like sadly, the sad thing about his behavior, I guess, is I don't know if it's possible to do it like this. I don't think no matter how great of a person he is and how protective and awesome he is with these children and all of this, that it's actually going to do anything to change the attitude people have towards him. You know, it's a sad thing, but it's very true that your own behavior isn't everything. You know, your situation can just be horrible and unfair, right? You shouldn't push yourself and work yourself to the bone like Rougerd might to try and reclaim the spared reputation. Um, if it's not possible, you know, and maybe yes, you just have to accept that. I don't know. I don't know. I just wonder if that's where we're going with it as well, I guess. Children shouldn't worry about that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about that attitude yet, I guess. Anyway, we arrive at this village, and it is Roxy's home village. For one, all their houses seem like they're turtle shells from the giant crazy monster that Ruger defeated. Right? It's like very much like the same. Yeah, it has like the same patterns. Look like the sun almost. You know, very cool. Like fire. Do they have fire magic or something? I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, very cool. Very cool. And it's like they have some in the wall. I guess. Right? That's kind of what it looks like here. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, yeah, they all got blue hair. They all got blue eyes. They all look just like Roxy. Uh, Rudius is counting the Roxys later. Yeah, we see here, like, Rudyard is so... God, he's so locked in on protecting the children. You know, it means it's such a personal thing for him, of course, after what happened with his child, right? So, sure, yeah. We're caught in a disaster and blown all the way here. No. You know what's good for you. Like, he even threatens him, you know? Like, God, that can't be the right way to do it, you know? I don't know. And he tells us here that they have telepathy, the Migurd tribe, which, Roxy's last name is Magurdia, right? Just like his last name is Sperdia. So, I guess that makes sense. It's like the name of your tribe. Sure, sure. They can use telepathy, which we never saw that with Roxy. That's interesting. I assume it probably only works between members of the tribe, I suppose. Hmm. God, so if all of them look like they're like teenagers, even when they're at the age of 102, so how old do you think this guy is? Since he actually looks like he's older, you know? I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, he learned to speak Demon God, indeed, just for right now. But he can speak human anyway, so. And he has one of the things too, right? Because the chief has one. I assume we can see it back here, right? Yes, the chief has one. They don't, which is interesting. I wonder if it has like some specific meaning to it. You know, I wonder why Roxy had one. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. And yeah, and this Ruckus here is Roxy's father. Very cool. Very nice. Very nice. There's this cool like automatic bug eating plant that defends their garden. Eris is so excited. One Roxy, two Roxys, three Roxys, four. Right. My daughter Roxy left the village over 20 years ago, and she hasn't been in touch since. This is like really sad, isn't it? This is not good, you know? Like, it just really makes me think, you know, like that very much seems like a shared thing between her and Rudius, you know, that both of them have not a good relationship with their parents, or like Rudius in his previous life, right? Like cutting them off, not having a normal connection to them at all. I wonder why Roxy did it, for one. I guess we don't know the story. I'm not going to make any assumptions, I suppose, but if it is something similar where Roxy has cut them off and isn't speaking to them for some kind of personal reasons, like feelings of inferiority and stuff, like we know that she struggles with from back in the Roxy episodes earlier on, right? Um, if it could be a reason like that, like a similar personal thing that made Rudius's relationship with his parents what it was in his previous life. It's very interesting because like Rudius has like this idolization of Roxy, and he thinks that she's so impressive and so unlike him and all of this. But this would very much be a shared issue between them in a way. It would be very interesting, right? I guess it would be it's interesting because it kind of shows how like unfair to herself Roxy is being, and I guess how unfair Rudius is being to himself as well. Like, just that whole idea. If for both of them cutting off their parents and not talking to them anymore, if it comes from, you know, again, reacting to like expectations like that, you know, feeling like you aren't fit to, you know, you don't deserve that connection to them, basically. Which, despite Rudius's attitude and like how self-righteous and stuff, it feels like he was in his previous life. I still think that's what it comes back to, right? Is that feeling of like being a disappointment to your parents, basically, which would fit for Roxy too, considering, you know, we know her problems with feeling like she's not good enough and all of that. And just knowing how impressive Roxy is would do a good job at like dispelling that idea that that's just not that is not a fair way to view yourself. That is not a fair thing at all, especially because we can see that Roxy's parents miss her, right? Certainly her father here seems very sad, you know? Yeah, yeah. Apparently, the Migurids live for about 200 years, about, I guess, like twice as long as a human, roughly, I suppose. Actually, 44. Dang. So then what? How old would she have been back when she was tutoring Rudius? How old is he now? He's like 10, right? He pretty much just turned 10. And oh God, he was like 2 or 3 or something, right? So she's in like her late 30s, I suppose, somewhere around there. Hmm. Letter said she was in the Shrone Kingdom. Indeed, indeed. As long as she's well. Hmm. And it's interesting how Rudius doesn't, you know, he thinks this dumb thing, father-in-law, blah, 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 blah. So, it's interesting how Rudius, like, doesn't think about any of that, right? Like, all that stuff I said about Roxy's relationship with her parents. Rudius does not think about that for a moment, right? It's like it just doesn't even it's like he shuts down any thoughts he would have about that. You know, it feels like it would be impossible for him to not have something to think, like, oh, it's crazy that Roxy left and has no relationship with her parents, you know? But he doesn't, you know, probably because it's a hard thing to think about, considering like how much he can relate to that kind of thing, you know. I think it's very interesting. It feels very intentional, you know. I wonder if Paul and the others will cry once they find out we're safe, you know? Like, I guess that's what he thinks about it, I suppose. He just thinks about his new parents, right? Paul and all of them, how they will react to him returning and everything, right? So I suppose, I just think that's a different thing than, like, what led Roxy to separate from her parents in the first place, you know? So we have a nice long chat with the chief of the village here. Hmm. Eris is so tired. She's fallen asleep in place. So, we talk about the plan, which is just to walk home, I suppose, right? How long is that gonna take, you know? There's nothing to plan. I'll protect them and see them both home. I feel like there's gotta be more to it than that, you know? The bigotry against Rugier is so strong he can't even enter cities, right? So yeah, I mean, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be bandits on the highway the whole way? That can't be good, you know? I'll help them if anything happens, even if I must kill everyone else there. That can't be right. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Hmm. I suppose it's been about 10 years since the one you saved. Very interesting. You know, something about Rugird's past. I'm trying to think if that would. Do we know anything about that? Could that be any character we know? The one he saved? I don't really think so. I don't know. I'll keep that in the back of my mind, I suppose. Hmm. So yeah, Richard talks about his goal. We talk about the history of the Sparrows. What's trying to spell the poor reputation. Rudius feels like it's impossible, of course. I mean, it does feel like it's so deeply rooted. You know, there's fairy tales about how evil and terrible they are that everyone's telling their children. You know, Zenith was doing it with Norn. It feels like such an impossible thing to overcome, right? Hmm. God, and the way his face looks here is crazy, isn't it? Like, I feel like there's got to be a thumbnail in here somewhere, right? God, just oh, like the harsh lines and everything, the lighting. It's so yeah. So Laplace betrayed them, gave them these like weird cursed spears. Yeah, yeah, that made them kill everyone, made them lose control completely. I wonder if that scar on his face, if that's from back then, huh? Probably, probably. Yeah. Hmm. In the end, Richard and his men accepted the spears he rewarded them. Yeah, yeah. Just drove them completely mad. None of them noticed the change. That's such a horrible thing, right? They didn't even notice the way they were being changed by them. Oh, yeah, right. God. Killed our parents, our wives, our siblings, and even our own children. Ugh. Just unimaginable, you know? Hmm. And apparently this spear is the soul of his son. How literal is that? I don't know. I don't know. The infamy of the Spirit is our punishment for carelessly trusting Laplace and accepting his cursed spears. Such a, I don't know, man, like blaming himself for it, for saying that they shouldn't have trusted him. Man, such a harsh thing, you know. But Rudius, yeah, Rudius has a moment. Has he been filled with loneliness that whole time? Filled with regret, with misery? And we get this flash to, yeah, to this face. Regrets. He gets that. He gets that a lot. Yeah. Hmm. So Rudy's to help him, which I think is good. I think it's important that he will help him, right? Because I think the way that Rudyard has been thinking about this whole thing is that like his duty that he has to take on, you know. I think that's like unfair to himself. I don't think it should be viewed as like some kind of transactional thing at all, right? I just think it's you know, the important thing is just them helping each other out as buddies, right? Like that's the important thing, right? Yeah, I think that is a good approach. What could Rudius possibly do for them? I don't know, but we'll figure it out, I guess. Here's Roxy's mother. She's 102. May I call you father-in-law? No. God. They give him a sword and some things. I'm not really sure what the stuff is. He's holding it in his hand later. I don't know. I don't know. Eris gives a little curtsy, peeks to see their reaction to it. God. She is gonna enjoy this whole journey so much, I'm sure, no matter how bad things get. Yeah, like what are these exactly? I don't know. Weird like symbol on this one. I don't know. Something. I promised to help Rougerd. The old me would have just laughed at his story, but last night I decided to believe him. His story struck a chord with me. Hmm. He'll protect us outside towns and we'll help him inside them. It's give and take. It doesn't have to be give and take exactly. I feel like it's different than that, you know. So off we go on our new journey. Feels like, yeah, this whole episode is just we're setting us up for our new journey that we're going on. A chance encounter indeed. A chance encounter set up by God, maybe? The man god? I don't know. How much of a does the man god control anything, or does he just like know what's going on? He's been watching Rudius, so does he just watch over everything and like know what's happening, or does he actually directly influence stuff himself? I don't know. I don't know. Next time we have The Value of a Life and the First Job. That is a intriguing title. The Value of a Life, huh? I feel like there's several people who need to learn about the value of a life, both Ruijerd and Rudius, in a sense, I suppose. Huh. Well, I suppose that's it. So, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.